Good evening and salutations, my Jade fans. Okay, so I am genuinely happy that Rick is back. Okay? Genuinely happy that AKA Slick Rick is back. But, he was out of pocket today. Okay? He really was out of pocket today. Because he comes over to Alexis's and is like, you've been giving Christina too much attention. You haven't given Molly that same attention. You're going to wind up losing our daughter if you don't show the same amount of equal attention to her and tell her that you love her and this, that, and the third. And it's like, you're out of pocket for so many reasons. One, you've been more of an absentee dad than anything in this relationship. And so you are the last person to be giving parenting advice to anybody. Let's just get that right off the bat. Number two, I don't think a lot of people are really being sympathetic towards Alexis's situation. I've said this in my live stream. I've said this even before this, obviously before this episode or whatever, that right now she has two daughters, but one of them is in this pain that's so crippling that she needs her support. Molly, on the other hand, yes, she's sad, she's devastated and everything like that. But clearly, one, the um the miscarriage happened to Christina. Yes. She might have loved that child like it was her own, but Christina has been with that child for 9 months. Okay? So the pain is not going to be on the same level between those two. So it just also Molly just seems like she's the stronger character just in general as far as being able to handle stuff and being more responsible and stuff. So, you know, Alexis, I think she said in this episode, is more just about like risk assessment. Like, which daughter needs you the most right now? It's not saying she doesn't love one daughter more than she loves the other. She loves them both. But right now, one is clearly in more pain and need more of her attention than Molly. So the fact that he couldn't see that, and I get it, that's I mean, hey, listen, Christina, he may like her or whatever. I don't know how much he's gonna like her since it is Sonny's child and everything, but like, I get that he's there to sit there and try to support Molly and fight for Molly, but he's not really taking her situation in consideration. He's just coming across as an asshole, to be honest. So, she said what she said, and, they were just going back and forth. Now, Dex and Molly were having a conversation, and the general gist of it is that Molly realized from an early age that she always had to be the stronger one, you know? Because she even said, hey, listen, there's two of us, there's one of her, okay? So if somebody is in pain, she can't be in pain and me being in pain at the same time because that will kill her. She understood at an early age, hey, listen, somebody's going to fall down either between me and her, and mom do's going to sit there and take care of one of us because she can't do both. It is impossible. And anyone that's into saying that it is possible, if you're a parent, but that is not realistic. Um, so part of me, I felt like in a sense, like they want to have a bit of this conflict with Molly and Molly and Alexis. But intellectually, you're kind of just like, if this wasn't a soap opera and it didn't really crave so much drama, I think she would be able to understand Alexis's position to some degree, a lot more than what the show is giving us. Um, Dex goes into his past. He talks about how he left his family and, how he left his mom. He didn't really give her a choice. He was just like, I'm out, I'm not dealing with this, and that's it. And there's a point where after those two finished talking, apparently, he was looking at his mom's phone and wondering if he should sit there and call her, but Jocelyn came in and that pretty much kind of just went away. Molly came back and talked to Christine. I mean, Molly came back and talked to Alexis, and long story short, she was like, "Hey, listen. As far as right now, me and Christina, we still on the outs, because of X, Y, and Z. But once sit there and ask the question, like, hey, listen, you have legal documents. I saw some legal documents. Was you planning on sitting there helping her steal our child, me and TJ's child?" And she was like, "No." She said from jump, she was like, "I'm not getting involved." I said that from day one. And I told her the same thing. So it seems like they may not be on the outs for too long. Heather's back because Scotty wanted some blood work done. Um, Talks to Liz, finds out Scotty is who knows where. And Heather ain't happy about that because she want to sit there and get free and eat all the jello that she wants and BOTs and all that good stuff. Now there's a point where after because Liz is at the nurse's station with Deanna, and Liz goes and goes to see Heather. Now Portia, after finish talk, well, after talking to Molly, after talking to Jocelyn and Carly, one wanted to give. Okay, just real quick, Jocelyn would sit there and be tested as far as a donor, and Carly was about to say something. Portia cut her off. The look on Carly's face, I guess to me, was kind of interesting because I felt like part of her wanted to turn around and be like, "Hey, listen, I love Lulu and everything like that, and she's family, but I don't know if I'm comfortable with that." But before she even got the chance to say anything, Portia was like, "You can't be a match because you already received, I don't know, was it a kidney or a liver? I think it was a kidney or something like that." Um, Portia comes back and Portia's like, "Where's Liz at?" And Deanna's like, "Oh yeah, she's taking care of Heather's." And Portia was like, okay. And she walks right in, right as Heather's going to talk about plans on, becoming free and stuff. So she comes in there and she's like, "Yeah, I want to sit there. You know what? It's fine. You can go. I'll draw a blood." Liz just had that look on her face. Heather had that look on her face. Well, long story short, she kept it professional. Um, Heather still wanted to talk about how the poison affected her and she wasn't in her right state of mind and stuff. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you weren't in your right state of mind, and we get that from a legal standpoint, but the damage that you did is still the damage that you did, regardless if you were in your right state of mind or not. It still counts. It's like people that want to sit there and try to give Esme a pass because she couldn't remember. It's like, yeah, but you still did the damage. So regardless if you couldn't remember or you weren't in your right state of mind, and with Heather it's even worse because we got bodies on you. But yeah, while Portia's not there talking, Rick comes in there. Rick is like, "Yeah, I'm your new lawyer." Like, Heather smiling and like, "Well, I mean, to be fair, you kind of got an upgrade because, I mean, if I had to sit there and choose between Scotty and Rick, I'm picking Rick all day. All day, every day, I'm sitting there picking Rick. Rick had a minor encounter with Carly and Liz. Carly's sitting there giving him attitude. And Rick is like, "Well, I'm here to sit there and support Molly now, burying an infant or whatever." It's like, you really think this is the time for yours? Like, you really think this is appropriate and stuff like that. And of course, Carly brings up the whole her being pregnant and chained to a wall, which, that did happen. Um, Liz is a little more sympathetic towards him. Okay, so this church scene, Tracy and Dante. This somewhat argument, somewhat tension, slight remarks coming from Tracy. Because at first I was like, where the is this coming from? You know, she's sitting there talking about how um, Dante abandoned her and it took her spark and her spirit and everything like that. And you know, you left her with you left her as far as a show went, and just a whole bunch of other awful things. And you know, in my mind, I'm like, well, marriages don't always work out. You know, he left because the alternative was to stay there. He had PTSD, and she's sitting there trying to tell him how he should have handled it. And I'm like, first of all, that's his and Lulu's marriage. That's not your marriage. You're literally out of pocket for sitting there even trying to judge him in the first place. Just do all of it. Also, it's a simple fact that while she says, well, I've been alive longer than you and this, that, and the third, I'm like, okay, and how many successful marriages have you had? No, I'll wait. Because let's just sit there and keep it 100. It's like Lucy said. When it came towards Luke, Tracy, you were a consolation prize. I know that sucks to sit there and say, but it's the truth, though. And then she talks about how something happens, and she never comes back. I'm never gonna forgive you, and it's kind of like when Jocelyn said that to Sonny. It was like, boo, you're not that special. You're really not. Your forgiveness means nothing. Like, and just like he says, like, I don't need your forgiveness. Sometimes I feel like when people sit there and say it, it's like they value themselves way too high, and they're not as special as they like to think that they are. But all this was somewhat pointless because, Dante, first of all, Dante was a lot more gracious than I would ever be. let's just say, let's just get that out the way. But he's still not, after he said what he said, which was this long explanation of basically Smith there saying that, you might have promised Luke to look out for his little girl and all your money and all your influence practically meant nothing, right? It was a lot longer than that, but that is pretty much just the gist of it. But then he decides to be nice to her, and then she somewhat apologizes, and it just kind of goes nowhere. And it's like, what was even the point of that little bit of an argument for? Like, I get it's stressful times and everything like that. It kind of brings out the worst in people, but it just seemed like it was okay. So y'all argued a little bit, y'all went back and forth, and then y'all just kind of support each other. Okay, cool. Um, Laura comes to see Nicholas, and long story short, he's not a match. He also asked about him being redeemed and stuff like that. He was just kind of in his little pity party. I didn't really care about that personally. Um, I don't think that he's done god awful, horrible things compared to most people in Port Charles. So yeah, sure, you could be redeemed at some point, whatever, I guess. Um, but Nicholas does sit there and say, "Go try to find Lucky," and I'm kind of just like, you didn't really need to be there. Like, I felt like her time would have been much better spent sending somebody else in her place while she goes tries to look for Lucky. Where was the last place she was at? Ireland. How about you start there? You know, it just seems like kind of a waste to some extent. What else happened in this episode? Oh, Dex talked to Jocelyn. Their conversation really didn't go that much of anywhere. I have to tell you the truth. I think the conversation was a lot more interesting between Molly and Dex. Um, because we got to sit there and see more nuances with Molly and some more stuff with as far as Just like more stuff like with his mom and stuff, and seeing how, he was wanting to sit there and quarrel. I'm kind of wondering why he hasn't done that sooner. Yeah, okay, I understand the brothers was POSs, and the dad, I don't even know if the dad is still alive, but he's a POS as well. But why haven't he contacted his mom in so long? Anyway, I feel like that's it for the most part. Can't think of anything else. But if I come up with something, you know what to do. Either write it down in the comment section. Come to the live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the soaps in our hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. With that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.